So our first asset here is a Junior Caravan, and I'll let Stephen talk a bit about that.
Yeah, I think this was also was this a cosmetic caravan? Yeah, this was, right?
I'm not
I don't know.
sure if this
I
is
think
one of
it
the
was. I think it
cosmetic
was
ones.
pulled by like yaks or something.
Oh,
But something that looked like yaks.
it's probably a
Uh,
previous one because it's not one that I designed.
yeah. So this is a Junior caravan, and obviously, there's going to be a lot of different, caravan designs that are out there, and part of we've talked a little bit in the past about how caravans kind of get made. This particular caravan is obviously a skin, so from a caravan perspective, mechanically, players are going to be responsible for providing certain component upgrades when they construct or commission the caravan. So, players will be able to add specific types of wheels and axles and armor and maneuverability, the speed of the caravan, the hit point values, the damage mitigation, all of those things kind of get uh, componentized where players have the ability to craft unique upgrades and adjust the stats of the caravan that way. But this particular one obviously is a junior caravan, and I think reflects a little bit of their cultural designs. They're definitely more sturdy, more robust from a junior
Yeah, they
perspective.
kind of got that more boxy vibe to it. I do love the little, like if you look at the little details of the gold plating kind of stuff that's happening, it's very, very pretty.
Yeah, and this
That
one
that's a
was
full size door, by the way.
right.
You don't have to
This
crouch if you're an elf.
this particular model was, if I recall correctly, it might have been a while ago. I think it was concepted by Ryan Richmond, and this model here was modeled by Carson Steele. So Carson did a great job, I think, on
Yeah, I keep
creating this
forgetting that
guy.
it's actually the concept piece.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, they've been doing amazing jobs on all of these assets. Whenever we look at them, we're like, it almost looks like the concept pieces sometimes. It's crazy. But yeah, it's looking awesome. We have some more caravan stuff down the line in the environment update as well. But I know design has been working very hard on a lot of the caravan stuff as well, fixing some of the issues. We have some very
There's
funny bugs. Maybe we'll do some outtakes when we're launched. Just, a throwback to the old days when we spawn hundreds
I
of
like
caravans in one spot and they
I
just all
like
shaking.
somebody said, how do you turn this thing? Because the wheels can't move. But there's a magical device that rests under the caravan itself. It's kind of a rotational a stone, they call it, right? And the rider has the ability to augment that rotation magically, so the wheels don't actually have to make a turn.
the rotational stone,
Yeah,
as
we
they
call it the
call it.
rotational stone.
It just it lifts and then turns like it's super extra. Oh gosh, that's great. All right, well we're gonna move on to some of our armor and shield work. You might have seen some of these pieces, and I know we show some of them, but we're kind of showing you the progress of things, and all the work that our team has been working on. So this first one, I know Stephen, you were kind of chatting with the dev team specifically about armor for females, and I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about that and the body shape and stuff like that when it comes to like the plating armor.
Oh, um, yeah. So, right now, from our um, from the character's perspective on this armor, right? Um, we want to be realistic with the application of particular types of armor, such as plate armor, in this regard for the different sexes, and there's a fine line that has to be drawn, I think, between accentuating the form of the sex, as well as making it somewhat realistic and actually applicable to the environment that they're experiencing. So we had some iteration on that. A lot of it had to do, I think, with the stance of the character itself from an animation standpoint. But also, I mean, you have to make certain revisions and deformations on the armor itself when applying it to the female form. So I think we had some iteration on that front. I think what was provided here that you're seeing is, I think, a nice blend on that fine line of practical but also appealing.
Do you want to also talk a little bit about the lighting? I think this kind of showcases a lot of that lighting and what we're working on towards that, and get to
Sure.
see a little bit of how that hits the armor and the reflection of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, lighting is a very integral part in how you are seeing different materials, reflect and or just look in general in the world. And there's a lot of different iterations that happen on the lighting front. Another component of that lighting is also taking into consideration that Ashes of Creation will experience different um, uh, time of days. So as you're kind of creating these materials on the models themselves, you're taking into account kind of what this gold is going to look like, at noon or at night, right? And there's a lot of iteration that's necessary from an art standpoint, not just on how the lighting of the level of the world exists, but also in how the assets look in that lighting. So, it takes a lot of juggling between environment, which usually holds the keys to the lighting front, and character, which is obviously holding the keys to the materials on these different armor sets. And I think, our teams have great communication and iterate well together. So that's how we kind of come up with this great piece of character art and modeling that you guys are seeing now. It's come a long way, obviously, if you guys have been paying attention over the past few years from where we were to where we are now, and it'll continue to move forward on that front. We have a very capable and very, very talented character team. Chris Atkins, who's leading our character team. We have Keith, we have Jinsey, we have Carson, and they're doing a really good job in bringing the world to life.
Yeah, it's been amazing to watch the progression. I mean, I've only been here for a year and a half, and I've gotten to see a lot of that progression as well. But it's been neat. And I think one of the things that I've always loved seeing in character creators is being able to change the time of day, because that gives you like an understanding of like, oh, what my character is going to look like whenever it's, morning versus nighttime, etc.
By the way, just want to apologize if I don't seem as sharp on
He's tired.
on my wordings today. It's because this week was a very, very difficult week from a sleep perspective. So
I think
I think
most
that's
of
fine.
us.
You've been on point, Stephen. Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
you've been actually really great, Stephen. I think the average sleep time has been like 2 to 4 hours. People have been working their booties off to get things in a state that we're all happy in. But no one's working over the weekend other than Stephen live streaming, so we'll be taking a good restful weekend for those who are concerned. But yeah, get some sleep, Stephen. And Stephen's also not
I'll
drinking
watch you.
alcohol in that glass. Last time you were drinking
It's
out of that
alcohol.
glass, and people were like, "Is he just drinking wine?" I was like, "No,
No,
he's
no,
drinking
no.
water."
It's just water. My water's, I guess, too fancy.
I thought I would just call that out.
I should get a Dixie cup.
Why would you get a Dixie cup? Don't waste
I don't
paper.
Then they won't think I'm drinking.
Well, you could just use a normal glass. Do you only have wine glasses?
I see
Only.
someone asked if the stream will be on this. Yeah, the stream will be on this channel tomorrow at 1, and we'll I think we're already going to post that messaging after the stream.
Yeah, after the stream is over, we'll post social posts, and we'll also be posting the 1 hour reminder and the we're live reminder as per usual. So as long as you follow us at Ashes of Creation, actually right below me, follow us in all those places, we'll notify you whenever it goes live. So don't worry about that. Or you can hit that follow button right here on Twitch and click the little bell so you get notified. So I'm going to move on to the next piece here. So this is some armor that I don't know if we've seen this one specifically.
I think we've seen a version of it.
Yeah, we've
So
seen some.
This gives you a good comparison if you swap back and forth, right, about what I was just speaking with regards to the deformation of the armor to reflect the different body styles between the sexes. This is essentially the same set, right? But you're seeing the same set, on the different genders, and kind of, how we achieve, I think, the appropriate look between practicality and appeal. So
Yeah, and seeing it in the like modeler versus like seeing it actually in game as well. And then we have this beautiful shield and the progress of the creation of it. And you can also see like the little de fleur on one side, and then on the other, it's
Hmm.
like a little scally look or
Yes,
like
France.
scallopy.
France is a country in Ashes of Creation.
It
I'm
just kind
just
of
kidding.
looks like a de fleur. I don't know. What would you call that if it's
No, it
not?
is. It's a fleur de lis, I
Yeah,
think,
fleur
or
de
something.
lis. There we go.
Si je parle
The old Walloon
seulement
word.
en peu français. But yeah, so this is again kind of giving an example of, I think that the different um, material and textures that can be swapped out on pieces to give them just a little bit of a different appearance. This is originally I think it's called the Shield of Reverence. I think originally from a geo standpoint, and then it just has these kind of swaps. And this might be something even in the future that we kind of give control over the players to augment visually the appearance of certain items, right? But yeah.
Cool. And I think this is the last one, kind of showing off more barding work on horses. Obviously, our horses are beautiful. They've been continually getting more progress on animations and things of that sort. I know there were people running around on a bunch of different mounts during our PI play test. Um, but yeah, we're working towards all the different kinds of barding. I don't know if you want to
Yeah.
talk a little bit about this one in particular.
Yeah, so this is an early, this would be essentially kind of an early silhouette of barding, right? Early level wise. So like, if you're getting barding for your horse, this might just be kind of the low level representation. Obviously, the armor for the horses and the mounts in general are going to try to take a similar approach that we do with the player character armor, where as the level of the gear increases that you get access to, so does the silhouette. Overall, it increases with it to kind of represent, you know, in combination with the flashier materials and better looking things kind of show that upper end gear. So too will the barding advance in that regard. So this would be, just to give you context, a lower level version. But yeah, the I think the armors of mounts are, obviously, we've discussed this before, intended to have multiple components, pieces that can be equipped. And that enhances the stats, the hit points, the potentially the speed, and um, the stats of the horse, the mount itself.
Yeah, and we've shown off different barding for different creatures like bears and other ones as well. So if you've been keeping your eye out, you've definitely been seeing a lot of different armor and barding for different creatures, not just horses. But a lot of people are commenting on how beefy this horse is. They're like, this horse has
Yeah,
worked out.
that's funny actually, because that was a kind of a last minute swap for this test yesterday. Last week, we had another version of the horse that was smaller, and it's still going to be present, right? There's going to be different sizes of these
Hmm.
mounts, different species of mounts and stuff. But this was a little bit beefier one. So we still have the smaller gelding kind of horse, but this one's more of a like war horse sort of presence, so it's much beefier.
My favorite ones though are still like, I don't know if we've shown them all yet, but you can definitely go find them on our other game updates. We've shown a lot of different horses and a lot of different creatures in general, but um Jinsey did a really great job with some of the hair and the braiding in some of them, and I'm like, oh, I want one with like magical flowers braided into the hair. So pretty. To match my dwarf beard, of course.
Yeah.
Um,
And this is, I think this was Jinsey's work, by the way, both the horse model as well as the barding.
I'm such a hippie. Maybe, I don't know. I just like flowers, man. Nature's awesome.